Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, what an exciting morning already. Bitcoin soars above 47,000 and soon all-time high. Yeah, that's right. I'm so excited I can't even talk. I'm going to explain why. And let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world today. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. Yeah, 47. We were a little bit higher at 47.7. Right now, we're right around 46.9 and 47 once again. Man, things are getting nutty once again. Last night, we were like at 45. The day before, we were at 43. And we've been going up and up and up and up and up. And the way we're going right now, it would not surprise me that we will be at 50,000, maybe even by the end of this weekend, and soon all-time high. Now, why do we have this? Well, a couple reasons. Number one is, the U.S. market actually has been doing very hot. Okay, despite all the negative things that have been coming out, but the U.S. market has been doing very, very well. And what does that have to do with Bitcoin? Well, obviously when there's a lot of money swirling around, that's always good. That's why I'm making a big deal about the Fed rate cut and cuts that will be happening soon. I believe it's going to start sometime in May, and we're going to see several consecutive cuts later this year, right? So whenever the market is booming, it's good all around for all assets, okay? But this person is arguing that Bitcoin right now is basically 2 months behind the S&P 500, who just broke through their previous high. If you look at this pattern right now, going all the way back to September 2022, it does look identical. It does look identical, other than Bitcoin is 2 months behind. Okay, so if this is the case, if Bitcoin is trailing the S&P, that means in 2 months, and that happens to be the halving event too, that Bitcoin will be at all-time high. We're talking about $69,000, right? I mean, that's really uncanny if you look at how similar the two paths have been. But we know there's so many good things happening, right? In 2 months, we have the halving event also. That's enormously big. And we still have the ETFs soaking up all the circulating Bitcoin. And Fed rate cut will be around the corner too. That's why it's not unreasonable to think that by mid of this year, that we will have breached that all-time high and have gone even further. I think that can certainly be possible. So it's looking good, guys. It's looking really, really good. Look at that. We're back above 47,000, 47,200. Just keeps on going. It's not going to stop. And here's the big reason why. I've been talking about ETFs all day long, every day, right? People underestimate ETFs. I've said this is going to be a big thing. It's a big catalyst that will continue to drive a lot of institutions into the space. And they're going to keep on buying. And they're going to keep on buying. As the FOMO hits, as Bitcoin goes upwards, they're going to buy more. So it's just going to repeat. 200,000 Bitcoin taken out of circulation in less than 1 month of trading. It's enormous. Just look at that. It's only been less than 3 weeks, guys. Less than 3 weeks and 200,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, that's so much if you think about it. And if you're looking at a grand total here, this site is a really, really good site. But this looks at all the ETFs, countries, publicly traded companies, private companies, and mining companies. It shows you the Bitcoin they hold, and it's already at 10%. ETFs is dominating. Okay, MicroStrategy is dominating at 190,000 Bitcoin, valued at $9 billion today. But if you scroll down and look at ETFs, Grayscale still has a ton, 22 billion, even though they've been selling off a lot. But look at BlackRock, look at Fidelity, and look at the other ones. I mean, ETFs don't just exist in the US. You have CoinShares, they have one that's 2.3 billion. You have the one in Canada at 1.1 billion. And you have another one at 1 billion. And then you got all these others. Come on, guys. Supply shock, it's happening. These big boys are buying up everything, right? And that's just going to escalate. So this cycle could be so great that, I mean, it's just a compounding effect, really. Like I said, the more FOMO there is, the more people, of course, buy. And then, you know, more Bitcoins can be taken out of circulation. And it's just going to keep on going. It's just going to compound upon itself. And, you know, all-time high will be around the corner. And after that, the sky's the limit. Maybe we just keep on going and it doesn't ever stop, right? Man, that's why I'm so bullish. I told you guys, I'm really, really bullish about 2024. Really bullish about 2024. Anyways, here's a good comparison. Net ETF flows. Obviously, when you see it go down, Bitcoin's price goes down, the net inflow goes up, Bitcoin goes up. It's quite simple, but this is showing at 45,000, not even at 47,000, right? So that means, you know what I'm thinking now? Because we haven't seen this for a long time where we went to bed and in the morning, Bitcoin shot up so much. That means Asia is starting to buy. North America has been leading the way when it comes to Bitcoin. We know because usually we'll see a movement in the middle of the day, right? And then it kind of like dies down at night. That means Asia's really not interested. But this is the first time in a long time that I remember we went to bed and then Bitcoin jumped up 5%. That's pretty significant. That means Asia is now starting to FOMO. So when you have both the East and the West FOMOing into Bitcoin, man, that's going to be a crazy 1-2 punch. If you think about it. Yeah. Okay. Moving forward, BlackRock considers increasing Bitcoin holdings. Not a surprise. Even though the ETFs already have billions within, that, you know, that's from other people that are holding it. But BlackRock themselves, who knows? They haven't disclosed their own private wallet. They may have $10 billion of Bitcoin in there already. Larry Fink may have more Bitcoin than even Michael Saylor. Who knows? And BlackRock holds not majority ownership, but a minority ownership in every single company that has anything to do with Bitcoin already. And they're considering of increasing their holdings. So think about that, right? So again, these guys are going to buy up as much as they can, guys. I've been saying this like clockwork, like a broken clock every single day, no matter if the price goes up or down, because this is happening. This is happening behind the scenes. 99% of people out there do not care. They only care about the price going up and down daily. But what's really happening is more and more Bitcoin is being taken away, taken out of circulation. And that's why Bitcoin will go up in price forever. And soon in the future, it's going to be too costly to buy any. So don't let that happen. Stock up while you still can. Now, right now, of course, we just moved in February, and that 1% is outdated. But so far, we have 6 consecutive green months. January, barely green, 0.62%. So that almost didn't count. In February, obviously, we just started. But I'm thinking this month is going to be green. March is going to be green. April is going to be green. May is going to be green. June is going to be green. July is going to be green. August, September, October, November, December. We may make history and have how many months? 14 consecutive months of green. And the reason being, I just don't see why anytime this year it's going to start turning bearish. This month and next month, people are ready, you know, the ETFs are going to carry us. ETFs, I already got done saying it, it's going to carry us forward. And then in April, the halving event comes. May, we have the rate cut that's coming. Then we have June and July because of the rate cuts and the ETFs and the halving that's going to carry us. And then we're getting close to the presidential election. You know, that's in November. So August, September, October are going to be very bullish too. I mean, we might have 14 consecutive months of green. That might be a little bit too bullish, but man, the way we're going, I just don't see anything stopping this train right now. All right. What else is there? Inactive supply going up, obviously. 1 year. Basically, the number of Bitcoin that hasn't been moved in 1 year have gone up. Basically, to a new high, to a new all-time high. Okay? So just think about it. The fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better, even though the price is not at all-time high yet. So do the math, right? That means the price is trailing. The number of people holding is at all-time high. Number of Bitcoin not moved at 1 year or 3 years or 5 years, 7 year, all-time high. Do the math, right? Hash rate all-time high. Network activity all-time high. Volume all-time high. Everything's all-time high except the price. So it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin's price catches up and forms a new all-time high. It's really that simple. Yeah, and then lastly, looking at a few charts. Obviously, that's a pretty bullish, that's a pretty bullish pattern breaking out of this wedge, and we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there, right? We're breaking out, and if we continue this and we break through 50,000, well, guess what? We're heading higher, right? Once we break 50,000. Things move really quickly. If you look at how fast Bitcoin fell before from the 50,000 range, I have to go. I mean, we got to go all the way back, right? So we're like right here now. We're this right here. This 48,000 is important to break. But after that, you can see the next resistance is at 52, and then after that, we're talking about like 60,000, right? We fell really fast from top. We were not above 50,000 for that long, just a few months. So once we crack through this 53,000, I mean 60,000 is right around the corner, guys. It could come really quick, like really quick. So we just need to first breach through where we are, head to about this point, this next stop about 52.3. Then it's going to be wild. FOMO will build, and then once we break through that, we could be at 60,000 in no time. That's what it's looking like. Yeah, and then, and then afterwards, we're going to mimic all the cycles before when, when it gets really, when we're in the parabolic rise. That's, yeah, I don't even know where we're going. We're going to 200, 250, 300, 500,000 by the end of this cycle. I don't know. I think these ETFs compounding and just eating away at the circulating supply, I mean, I think it's going to add up. It's going to add up. We're soon going to see in the future where these ETFs are adding about $1 billion worth of Bitcoin per day. Over 365 days, that's 365 billion. Okay, but I think during the parabolic rise, it'll be more than $1 billion a day. It could be like 2 or 3 or 5 billion a day going into them. I mean, there's just not enough. The supply shock is going to be so massive that the market can't handle it. That's how it's going to be. That's how I feel. Yeah. Last thing I'll say about Bitcoin is this. I like colors. A lot of you guys like colors. And basically where the color deep yellow, which is right before orange and red, and that's when the parabolic rise starts. We're not quite there yet. After a halving event, we're going to start seeing that. And that's when we go to the moon. All right, so that's Bitcoin. What else is going on? Just a few other things. There is something new that's coming out for Ethereum that's called ERC 404. So I only bring this up because, you know, starting to hear more about it. I'm like, what is ERC 404? It's not a new thing yet. This is a new standard that people are pushing, but basically it combines ERC 20 and ERC 721, which is the standard for tokens and standard for NFTs, and they're trying to combine them so that you get a token and NFT within one single token, right? That's what ERC 404 is. So I don't know, maybe this could catch on. We've been seeing a lot of new crazy innovation this cycle, so maybe this is going to be a new thing. Here's the very first project called Pandora, where you get one NFT minted to your wallet if you own one token, right? So that's how it works. Kind of interesting. I don't know. So that could be a big thing this bull run too. Of course, Solana has their own permission tokens on a permissionless network. So they're coming out with a new token standard that you could basically program, right? And you can set all these standards that you want, like commissions and rebates and, you know, I don't know, other stuff that you can do with stable coins or tokens. I don't know, rewards, so forth. And I think this is the first one to utilize it. Bonk, earn, burn. And I think they're using that new token standard. I don't know. It seems like it, but we'll see. But anyways, a lot of new standards coming out, guys. As for Solana itself, it crosses 1.8 billion in TVL. Not all-time high, but we haven't seen it this high since 2022. So obviously Solana is going in the right direction. Jupiter still has nutty volume right now. More volume than Polygon, more volume than Avalanche, more volume than probably Uniswap still. And of course, this is because Solana is just really hot right now. And in terms of NFT sales, blowing up, but it pales to the NFT sales of Master of Cock, because this is the best NFT created of all time. So I'm just kidding. The volume of Master of Cock is not greater than the volume of Solana NFTs, but you know, it's pretty close. Second place. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Oh, good turnout this morning. Happy Friday, everyone. All right. Lewis, I said Bitcoin was 50,000 this morning. I'll bust out the blue label. We're close. Not quite there yet. Eric says most people are not bullish enough, so we will be in the green. Yeah, I would say a lot of people are not that bullish right now because they don't hold enough Bitcoin. That's the thing. A lot of people are holding a lot of alts, and alts are not, some alts are doing very well, but most alts are still not as hot as Bitcoin. It's okay. They will be, right? But this is why I say don't skip on Bitcoin. Sometimes when it moves, it just moves and nothing else moves. Sometimes it moves so greatly, it sucks out of liquidity from others. But you always want to have a good amount of Bitcoin. Can cock X 100X? There's always a possibility. There's always a possibility. DJ says, check Cody. It's melting faces. Yeah, I've noticed a pump on Cody, and I'm taking advantage of it, but it's pretty unnatural, if you ask me. It's up 41% today. Zeus is, do you recommend buying some alts now or waiting for the halving pullback? I'm not sure if the halving will drop the alts below their current price. I'm not sure either. I don't think so, because I think by halving, we're going to be at a much higher market cap. Everything is going to be higher, and even if there's a pullback, I don't think the pullback is going to bring us lower than our current price now. I mean, it's always, it's always a thing. When you try to time the market, you're not going to do well. You just DCA in. I'm buying loads of Manta. Do I approve? I think Manta's doing good. I think they are doing very good. So, sure. Feeling good today. Lamborghini preparing record sales in 2025. I don't know the fascination with Lamborghini. I'm a Ferrari guy. Just go with Ferraris. And Ferrari will accept Bitcoin as payment. But the dealerships haven't figured out how to do that yet. But they will. Tyler on gaming. Appreciate that. I know you've been around for a while. Seen you around. Zach, appreciate it. Scott says life's looking good. That's good. Glad to hear it. It's all about Porsche. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a GT3. Yesterday, I was at Auto Show and saw the new Mustang GT-D. And it looks cool, but it's no Porsche. It's more like just a race car. Why did I write off GME and Solana? It's too high already, and I don't believe in all the hype around it. Josh, I'd like to see that as a series. The new Taycan does look pretty sweet, though. That does look. They upgraded tremendously. I love the hatchback Taycan. I think that looks cool. Yeah, another reason why Tesla is not going to be dominating in the future. How much do you need to spend $300K on a Lambo? I mean, you need $2 million, right? I mean, it really depends on your monthly income, but yeah, that sounds about right. Most people buying Lambo lease it. So, I mean, if you're leasing like $300K, it's about $3,500, $3,700 a month. So you got to figure you're making at least 10 times more than that. So, if you're making a monthly income about 35,000, then you can afford a Lambo. Pretty, wouldn't be that much to you. Skinny color, that's a good way to look at it. Basically $100 a day. I would say a little more. $125 per day. Angela, welcome. Glad to see you here. JC, don't ask that. Sold off Cadena a long time ago. Why are you still clinging on hope? It's just not a project I care about or believe in anymore. Kelly. That's funny. That's funny. I pay that for my Lambo and I don't make 30K. Currently just existing for my Lambo. Well, hopefully you don't get in trouble. Any new crypto tax app used coin tracking last year? They're all the same, honestly, Digibong. They're all the same. I will say a lot of these coin tracking apps or coin tracking or tax tracking software, they are cocky as hell, those CEOs. I talked to two of them that, man, I got so pissed off talking to them. They treat you like shit, and they want you to promote them for next to nothing. And yeah, I didn't like it. So I'm like, screw it. But you know, for the most part, they all kind of work the same. You plug in your wallets, your sexes, and then they just calculate everything for you. George, you know we Porsche guys. I mean, Porsche guys are kind of like really clingy. Like whenever you go to meets and stuff, you like hear about like a bunch of Porsche guys. I like to think that Porsche guys, I don't know. I don't own a Porsche, so I don't know. Or Porsche, if you want to be all snobby about it. I would like to be one day. I would like to get a GT3. You know, I used to just want the 911 Turbo, but now these days I want a GT3, but I just hate the markups. I hate the dealer markups. Porsche guys are a cult, but a good cult. Yeah, that's. I think that's the best way to say it. It is like a cult. I'm about to put 10K in stacks. What are your thoughts? I just talked about stacks yesterday. I think as Bitcoin goes up, so will stacks. It's good. Do you still believe 25 allocation to ETH? Jimmy, I never believed in 25% allocation to ETH. I think you've been mistaken. I've always said 25% in big caps, 25% in small caps. 25% in big caps does not mean 25% allocation to ETH. You can put 25% in ETH, but that's not what that means. 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps, 25% in mid, small, and micro caps. Guys will say, Porsche sounds so pretentious. That's why I agree. And I hate people that correct you. Like you say Porsche, you're like, no, that's not how you say it. You have to say Porsche. Like, you know, like, shut up, man. It makes, you know, Porsche guys sound so arrogant and cocky and pretentious. Yes. I'm thinking about going to a conference in Tennessee. Are you going and doing any events? You know, Bitcoin 24. Yeah, I'm going to have WAG right before, a day before it, to steal the thunder. So that's going to be July 25th or 26th. Speaking of events, you guys need to, since, you know, the market's blowing up right now, a lot of you guys have more money. Go to sunny Orlando. This will be the next one I'll be hosting an event at and helping draw in some speakers. It's a smaller event, so just to warn you guys, this is the first time they had one, but there's a lot of other influencers. There'll be projects. I'll be hosting a network party there, so check out the TWC in Orlando, and that's in March 8th and 9th. And who doesn't like to go to Orlando? NSX. I don't know. I mean, they discontinued it, so really, I wouldn't mind getting a first gen or second gen NSX, but I think it's just too overpriced. Second gen NSX basically looks like the first gen, but they updated the engine a little bit. The front end is upgraded. It's a small little car, but I just don't think it's worth the price tag. They're going for like 150 now, and yeah. But I would like to get one of those. I'm still looking, like periodically I keep looking at G-Wagons and they're just not coming down in price. Those rich bastards, they just don't want to dump their G-Wagons. The G63s are just so damn expensive. And I would still like to get a Bronco Raptor. They're still overpriced. Like to get a F-150 Raptor R, still overpriced. I mean, like dealerships are still gouging. I'll tell you this, I was at Chicago Auto Show, and it was the saddest auto show I've ever been to. It was 1/4 the size of what it normally is. Automakers are struggling right now. They can't even afford to go to auto shows. Did I cover Cody? Yeah. I looked them up. They're transitioning to like a privacy-centric layer 2, which actually I think is not a good idea. Privacy coins do not do well. They're the creator of DJet for Cardano, but mostly right now they're pumping due to some other reason that I shared in Patreon. But yeah, they went on a crazy run. Zen Crypto's X1 chain had the biggest airdrop in history. Good for you. Good for sharing that, Ben. Ben Johnson. I'm going to look at your history. I'm pretty sure that the history will show that you only talk about Zen Crypto. If it loads up here. Let me see if I can load up your history. It actually doesn't. It's loading. It's having a hard time loading your history. Come on. Yeah, I can't see it. G-Wagons cheap in Dubai. I bet G-Wagons are cheap in Dubai. It's more expensive to buy like a license plate than it is a car there. Best remedy for acid reflux or indigestion? Stop eating what you're eating to cause it. Sometimes before, I would wake up in the middle of the night with bad acid reflux. I hate it. It's like the worst thing. But I find it's just like what I eat. So, I don't know. It doesn't happen that often. Jasneel, are you asking about cock or koa? Because I don't know which one you're talking about. Uncle Fester, I'm gonna put you in timeout for being such a sourpuss. It's Friday. People like to talk about random stuff. I like cars. I cannot stand people that say, is this a crypto channel or a car channel? I mean, F you, okay? Lighten up. Cristiano, George, broke my no FOMO rule with TIA on DCA yesterday. At least it was the first time. You know, Celestia is just so hot. I understand. Sometimes you just FOMO in. You know, it's like you watch something, you watch something, you watch something. You want it to go down, and it just keeps on going up and up and up and up. I get it. I mean, Celestia is just, you know, it just keeps going up. It doesn't really stop, but yeah, it's still smart to DC over time, though. But I get it. Don't forget your new video on XRP today. I already showed it. If you guys want to watch it, you can watch it on my channel. It's pretty hilarious. How much percentage of your monthly should go into a car payment? Barry asks. That's a good question. Honestly, it should be as low as possible, but I don't know. I'd say like 10%, less than 10%. You know, if you're making six figures, so that means you're making at least $9,000, $10,000 a month. You know, a lot of people have a car payment around $900, $1,000. I think if you're making six figures, that's okay. Obviously, if you get that down even less. But the average car payment right now in America is like 700 something. So, and that's one car. If you have two cars, you're above that. You're going to be above that 10% mark. I would say if you could keep it under 10%, that would be pretty good. Cars are not investments. Keep it cheap. Christopher, that's true, but sometimes you got to live a little, okay? Vacations are not investments either. But you're experiencing something, especially if you're having a vacation with your family, right? That's priceless. So not everything needs to be investment. It's about the experiences, life experiences. You only have so much time on your clock, and you can't take the money with you. So at some point, you have to spend it. But obviously, different people are in different places financially, so it depends. Adam says, I have to confess, I dumped my stock investments, went hard at Bitcoin, Sol, and Cock. Well, I mean, here's the thing. That's not a bad thing. I've said this many times. You know, you want to bet on the fastest horse, right? And when you compare crypto as an asset class versus all other asset classes, it's not even close. The race, it's like it's like a Ferrari racing a kid on a bike. That's the difference between the performance of crypto versus anything else out there. It's not even close. So, especially in a bull market, if we're in a crypto winter, obviously that's different, right? Because everything's coming down. But in a bull market, when things are recovering, nothing is close. Especially, yeah, I mean, even if you just compare Bitcoin itself to, like, say, for example, Tesla. Tesla was so hot before, I get it. But now, if you ask me, should I hold Tesla or Bitcoin? Of course, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to destroy Tesla's performance in the next 2 years. Watch. It won't even be close. Tesla's not doing, is not doing what it did before. Bitcoin will just destroy it. Bitcoin will destroy the performance of basically any stock out there in the next 2 years. There's nothing that's going to be close. What if the engine doesn't start a Ferrari, who wins? Well, I guess the kid on a bike, and that's what happens in crypto winter. Because it's too cold and the engine won't start. But once it warms up again, the Ferrari will catch up really quickly and just blow past that kid. Baby Orca is asked about Orange. Orange actually has been doing very well. It's been pumping crazily because it's in the DeFi space. I'm invested in this project. So they're creating an app that supports BRC20, supports stacks, supports ordinals, supports everything. They have on their launchpad, their own bridge. It's all about DeFi on Bitcoin, right? So that's what they're concentrating at. Very early stage. They just did TG like maybe 2 weeks ago, but they are absolutely flying right now. Still a low cap. Stymie, did you watch the Putin interview? Weaponized dollar was a huge mistake. Interesting. I watched bits and pieces of it, and I gotta say, a lot of stuff that he said makes a lot of sense. Weaponizing dollar was a huge mistake. We saw it. I covered it. I cover so much of it, right? BRICS nations getting off of the dollar standard. The Middle East now taking yuan for payment rather than USD. That's a huge mistake. I know that the US was trying to punish Russia, but placing all the sanctions on Russia and other countries is basically giving them reason to get off the dollar and get on to the yuan or some other currency, right? Eventually the US dollar is not going to be the global reserve currency. Every single one always collapses and there's a new one that takes over. And it seems like that's the path we're heading into. Tucker looked weak. Tucker did look weak. But come on, he didn't want to be like arrested on site. He asked some good questions though. I didn't watch the whole interview. I watched bits and pieces, but the parts that I did watch, Putin made a lot of solid arguments. Again, could they be lies? Sure, but he was very prepared and eloquent with his answers. I don't know. I got to watch the whole interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but the bits and pieces I watched, he made a lot of sense. Let's just put it that way. A lot of sense. What do you think about Flux? I like what they're doing, but the price being stuck for so long. Yeah, sometimes that's just how it is. Sometimes you could have a great project and they just don't move because there's just not enough hype around them, right? But I know Dan from Flux, he's going to try to make a big push this year. So maybe that will help. When it comes to marketing, it's very important. You could have the greatest crypto project on the planet. I get asked all the time to look at random L1s and L2s and stuff, and they never move because marketing is important. Yeah, I don't know if he was like given the questions ahead of time. I almost feel like he was because he answered them almost too good, too perfectly. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. It does seem like he was like prepared to answer everything that he was asked. So maybe he had time, you know. It's pre-planned questions. What's up? What Jupiter selling during BTC rise? Why? Just think about it. Just use logic, okay? If you give out $800 million worth of coins, do you think people will sell some? The answer is yes. People are taking their profits, basically free money, and they're selling it off to buy other things. That's what's happening. Eventually, it's going to stop. It's going to find a footing and then continue forward. But when you give out $800 million worth of coins, people are going to sell. It's unrealistic to think that people are just going to hold everything they're airdropped. It's not going to happen, right? So any project that gives out a large amount of airdrop tokens or coins will sell off. It's that simple. I really want a Bronco Raptor. I'm in love with that car. I have reviewed it before. I love it. But man, it's just so overpriced right now. Is AVAX worth holding? Yes, definitely. I'm a big fan. Um, have you heard about LeBron's planned expansion team to Vegas? He bought an empty lot near the airport where he plans on building an arena. That would be smart. That would be really smart. I know LeBron wants to be an owner. So having a team in Vegas would be very smart. And they have so much land. There's so much land around the strip. Everyone always says, oh, the strip is like, you know, packed, but there's so much land around it. Just all empty desert space. You could build a stadium really, really, really easily. But they have the T-Mobile Stadium ready. But if he builds another one next to the other one that they have, I forgot who owns it, the new Black Stadium. It's awesome looking. It's a giant Jumbotron screen right in the front. I haven't even seen the inside, but if they build one next to it, it'll be amazing. Thoughts on Matic and Ada? Can I do a 5x? Yes, both of them can do a 5x. Both can do 5x. I say more than 5x for sure. George, you need a MyBox 600 GLS? No. No. MyBox are not worth it at all. It's not. Jimmy Fingers. You should get that dumbass Apple VR for my walks. I'm tempted to just buy it just to see how it is. You know, someone in my Patreon group said it's great, but it's not worth 4K. I mean, I think it's gonna be a big flop. There's no reason to price it at 4K. If you price it at 1K, maybe 2K, you'll get more sales. There's no reason to price at 4K. I just don't see myself walking around with that huge goggles on my face. No, I'm not into motorcycles. Never been. Hey, how much was that dump truck at a car show? I actually didn't look at it. All right, guys, let's conclude. Today, Bitcoin had a pretty good day, above 47. It's still trying to like hold it a little bit lower. You know what? I have no surprise. Bitcoin will continue upwards. We got the momentum. And 50,000, 53,000, 69,000 all-time high will be around the corner. Don't let all these big boys eat up everything. Supply shock is already happening, and it's going to continue and compound and escalate as we move forward in this year. So stay strong, my friends. I will see you guys not tonight, tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.